Okay, so on one hand, we see peace in the Middle East, but on the other hand, conflict. Before we begin, I just want to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay connected to the real news from Israel and to make me happy. Okay, so let's jump straight to the point, to the Persian Gulf, because the breaking news are coming from there. Iranian armed troops seized a South Korean tanker at the Strait of Hormuz. Now you might be asking yourself, why did they do that? And is there a reason for that? And well, first of all, they let the tanker staff know about that 10 to 20 minutes before boarding on the tanker. And the Iranian media reported that the reason they did that is because this tanker is causing too much pollution at this Persian Gulf. And that's why they seized it. And obviously this is just a bunch of lies. The real reason is, first of all, Iran's regime wants to show their presence. They, especially now when we're looking at what's happening in the United States, that the Biden administration is about to take the presidency, and Iran wants to let the world know that they are running the Middle East, the Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf. They basically want to show off. Why did they choose South Korea? Well, actually, South Korea withheld around $9 billion that belonged to Iran due to the sanctions that the US imposed on Iran. And South Korea is a very close ally of the United States. So they picked South Korea to send an indirect message to the United States, a message of power. Because the ultimate goal of the Islamic regime is domination and power. They want to expand their evil empire. That's why they sponsor terrorism in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Gaza, and in so many more places, because that's their ultimate goal. And honestly, I think that if President Trump wasn't in office and putting a stop to them, and if we didn't have such a powerful prime minister like Netanyahu, I think that the Middle East would have looked much worse than it is today. The second thing that you should know of regarding the Middle East conflict, and the Middle East is, again, Iran. How surprising. Actually, I hope that I'm not surprising you, but Iran is the #1 cause of terrorism in the Middle East. Iran announced that they are enriching uranium to 20%, and this is a direct violation of the nuclear deal that President Trump had nixed, and that the European leaders are trying so hard to preserve. I mean, what more evidence and proof do they need to see that Iran is not interested in keeping the nuclear deal and to keep peace in the Middle East? Because why are they enriching uranium? Why do they need so badly a nuclear weapon? Do you think that they're going to use it for peaceful purposes? Heck no. The Iranian parliament just voted to destroy Israel in 1420 on the Persian calendar. That means in 20 years. They actually set up a clock in Tehran that shows when will Israel be destroyed. Literally, the Iranian parliament in Tehran approved a bill to destroy Israel. And now you see that they're enriching uranium and trying so hard to obtain nuclear weapon. And you know, all you have to do is connect the dots. They are not interested in having nuclear weapon or a nuclear power for peaceful purposes. Not at all. We see that Iran is trying to play the United States because of everything that is happening over there politically, and the change of administration and the protests and everything. So that plays into the hands of Iran, and they want to get the most out of it. That's why they are showing off their forces. That's why they are enriching more uranium. I think that they are trying to send Biden a message that, hey, you should negotiate with us, come back to the deal. And I think that signing a deal, making a deal with a regime that slaughters their own people, that is not loyal to the Persian values, you can't negotiate with them. I think that the only solution is to change this regime and stand up for the Iranian people that are fighting time and time again to save their country. And actually, I was happy to see that the United States didn't play into the hands of Iran. They decided to keep the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz in the Persian Gulf that actually finished its deployment and was about to ship back home. They decided to keep it there and to show Iran that the United States will not tolerate any act of war and any act of terrorism. And I think that this is a really smart move, because Iran is looking for any crack in the defense of the West against its regime, and they're trying to get in between that. That's why they are so focused on Europe, because they see that they can try and play the leaders of Europe into their own hands with the nuclear deal, the nuclear program. And obviously they see that they cannot play with the United States and Israel. Israel and the United States actually are one of the only armies in the world that stand up to the Islamic regime. And now everything that we see right now in the Middle East, that on one hand we see peace that is happening, but on the other hand we see, well, not war, but acts of conflict and acts of aggression coming from Iran. And all of this is connected to the elimination of Qasem Soleimani. They just marked 1 year to his elimination at the order of President Trump. I think that President Trump left them shocked, because I don't think that they anticipated the elimination of their top military commander. So only a real strong leader can send such an order. So I think that for 2021, it's going to be really interesting in the Middle East with the Biden administration. I hope that we will see more peace agreements. This trend of peace will continue, because the only way to make this Middle East better is by signing more peace agreements and organizing a coalition against the Islamic regime. Because you see Iranians, Israelis, and Arab people all together united, regardless of religion, race, and other opinions. We are all united together against the dictatorship of the Islamic regime. So, there is no question here of who is causing this conflict in the Middle East. The address is in Iran, or to be more specific, the tyrants of Tehran. I will continue to update you.